Yeah, because a lot of the wood is, not a lot of it, some of the wood is just put it on the ISKCON. Correct. Inside of it.
Yeah, there's plenty. That's almost very too high.
Okay, how many? Take out two?
Yeah, two.
Yes, shall we start? Okay. Jaya Rama Rama Kanda Biyare Jaya little bit slower. Jaya Rama Rama Kanda Biyare Gape Dona Ballapa Kivarara Gape Dona Ballapa Kivarara Yasharanandara Bhajajanarandana Yasharanandara Bhajajanarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Jaya Rama Rama Kanda Biyare Jaya Rama Rama Kanda Biyare Gopedana Ballapa Kivararare Gopedana Ballapa Kivararare Yashadanandana Pajajanarandana Yashadanandana Pajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanatare Yamanatera Vanatare Jayarada Marava Kanaviyare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Pavapara, Jaya Pavapara, Jaya Pavapara, Jaya Pavapara. Nityaga Ariva, 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 Nityaga Ariva. I go up him and Srila Prabhupada ki, Ganta srimadbhagavatam ki, Samaveda Bhaktivinda ki, go up him and Hare Krishna. Om Agyantimandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurmalitam Dhanna Tasmai Shri Gave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manupistam Stavitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Upakaramayam Dadati Swavadantikam Namam Vishnubhara Krishna Bhasa Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Govani Pachayine Nirvishisha Shanivari Pasatari Satarine Vanchakapa tuvasya kripa sinumevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so today we are starting a new canto. Oops. Yes, fourth canto, part 1. From which canto did Prabhupada write these summaries? You know, later on there's some introduction. But at fourth canto he's not really doing that. Well, we're not reading the introduction, right? No, that's by the publishers. We'll skip that. Okay, chapter 1. Genealogical table of the daughters of Manu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Maitreya Vacha Manustu Satarupayam Tisa Kanyasa Jagire Akutir Deva Hutisa Pasuti Visutaha Maitreya Vacha Manostu Satarupayam Tisa Kanyasa Jagire Akutiya Devahutisa Pasutiya iti Visutaha. Satarupayam Akutir Devahutisa Maitreya Vacha. The great sage Maitreya said, Manotu of Swayambhuv Manu, Shatarupayam in his wife Shatarupa, Tisraha 3, Kanyaja daughters also, Jagire gave birth, Akuti named Akuti, Devahuti named Devahuti, Cha Also. Prasuti. Name Prasuti. Iti. Thus. Vishuddhaha. Well known. Translation. Srimad said, Swayambhuv Manu begot 3 daughters in his wife Shatarupa, and their names are Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Since the purport is, there's a few different paragraphs there, I thought I'll do like this, that I read a paragraph at a time and then comment and then continue reading, like that. Right? Sometimes we do that when the purport is longer, and rather than reading it all and then starting again, going through it or something. And also to begin with, I'd like to ask for the blessings of Maharaj and senior devotees, so I can say something of some little meaning here, and that it is enlightening for everybody, including myself. So, first of all, already the chapter, the name of the chapter, genealogical table of the daughters of Manu. We have this quite a lot in the Bhagavatam, that we have all these names, There's a few verses where it's just names, and the daughters, and the sons, and then this happened, and further the children. So sometimes when you read through this, you think, oh my God, what for? A bit boring or something. But then again, it really establishes a certain authoritativeness, that the Bhagavatam, it's not just some mythology or something, but no, it's historic facts, right? Because so many non-believers, they think, oh, it's just some Indian mythology or something. But then you would wonder, well, why would somebody come up with all these different lineages of different, family lines and all their names and all this, so this obviously puts it on a different level. Then we realize, yes, these are all historic facts. It's not that somebody just made up some nice stories here for us or something, but it's all history. They were actually all living, in this planet some time ago. Okay, so now, purport. First of all, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, by whose order I am engaged in this Herculean task of writing commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam, as the Bhaktivedanta purports. By his grace, we have finished 3 cantos already, and we are just trying to begin the 4th canto. By his divine grace, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya, who began this Krishna consciousness movement of Bhagavad Dharma 500 years ago. And through his grace, let us offer our obeisances to the 6 Goswamis, and then let us offer our obeisances to Radha and Krishna, the spiritual couple who enjoy eternally in Vrindavan with their cowherd boys and damsels of Rajabhumi. Let us also offer our respectful obeisances to all the devotees and eternal servitors of the Supreme Lord. That's the first paragraph. So I really, felt there is a special sweetness there, how Prabhupada, offers the obeisances, his obeisances, to all the different entities there, and how he says, first of all, how he's mentioned we. He often does that instead of I. He says we, right? And that already, that expresses that humility. It makes a subtle difference whether you say, by his grace I have finished the 3 cantos already, and I am just now trying, But he says we, so it makes it a little more humble and so on. Or not only a little more humble, quite a bit humble. And yeah, I can kind of pick up Prabhupada's eagerness there, his anxiousness. He's anxious and excited, isn't it? Right? Yeah, that he says, yes, we have just finished already, and now we are just trying to start the fourth canto. He's all excited and anxious. Oh, will I be able to finish this? And, this Herculean task. You know, a lot of personal sweetness there I can capture from Prabhupada. And even the way he calls it Herculean task. This is, expressing his mood that impossible mission, you know? And that connects nicely with my little talk there on the Sunday feast lecture. Prabhupada feeling helpless, helplessly dependent on these personalities and on their mercy, trying to get this Herculean task done. And I guess this is one little trick how we can cultivate this dependence by accepting an impossible mission. Right? If we accept an impossible mission, Herculean task, that makes us feel completely helplessly dependent. And that's kind of one of Prabhupada's secrets there. And I mean, yes, it is said that we should endeavor with great determination. Satatam kirtanam yatanta shadvatadavata, always endeavoring with great determination. Getting out of our comfort zone, right? And only then we can feel more deeply that hopelessness and that dependence. If we remain in our comfort zone, oh well, then there's no impossible mission there, you know. But once we get out of our comfort zone, then we actually realize, wow, impossible mission. Yeah, so Prabhupada certainly embarking on this Herculean task, he feels that dependence, and therefore he expresses his eagerness to get the mercy of all those personalities, and that empowers him to be an instrument there and really deliver the law books for the next 10,000 years. And I mean, we can just imagine how he must have felt like, wow, now starting on the fourth canto, you know. Yes. And also, we are trying to begin the fourth canto. We're simply trying, you know. Very, very nice, very sweet. So then let us continue reading. In this fourth canto of srimadbhagavatam, there are 31 chapters, and all these chapters describe the secondary creation by Brahma and the Manus. The Supreme Lord himself does the real creation by agitating his material energy, and then, by his order, Brahma, the first living creature in the universe, attempts to create the different planetary systems and their inhabitants, expanding the population through his progeny, like Manu and the other progenitors of living entities, who work perpetually under the order of the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada gives a nice little summary how the creation is taking place, right? But ultimately it is coming from the Supreme Lord, so he gets everything happening there, glances and agitates his material energy, and then there's certain other living entities and his progeny Brahma's progeny, who would then do the rest, sort of thing, under the order of Krishna, Supreme Lord himself. In the first chapter of his fourth canto, there are descriptions of the 3 daughters of Swayambhuva Manu and their descendants. The next 6 chapters describe the sacrifice performed by King Daksha and how it was spoiled. And thereafter, the activities of Maharaj Dhruva are described in 5 chapters. Then, in 11 chapters, the activities of King Prithu are described. And the next 8 chapters are devoted to the activities of the Pracheta kings. Yeah, so he gives a bit of an overview there, what is awaiting us, all kinds of nectarine stories there, which give so many wonderful instructions from all different sides and all different levels and so on. This is how the Lord's pastimes are always giving so many instructions for everyone involved. It's always purifying for everybody there, you know. So there's quite some nectar there awaiting us. As described in the first verse of this chapter, Swayambhuva Manu had 3 daughters named Akuti, Devahuti and Prasuti. Of these 3 daughters, one daughter, Devahuti, has already been described, along with her husband Kadama Muni and her son Kapila Muni. In this chapter, the descendants of the first daughter, Akuti, will specifically be described. Swayambhuva Manu was the son of Brahma, and Brahma had many other sons, but Manu's name is specifically mentioned first, because he was a great devotee of the Lord. In this verse, there's also the word cha, indicating that besides the 3 daughters mentioned, Swayambhuva Manu also had 2 sons. Yeah, so, Prabhupada simply introduces the whole topic, and what caught my attention is that he emphasizes, that Lord Brahma has so many sons, but because Swayambhuva Manu is mentioned first because he was a great devotee. And interesting to see how great devotees, they create great offspring, right? Such as Devahuti, who gave birth to Kapila Dev, and I believe Akuti is also giving birth to one incarnation of the Lord. So, it entered my mind that those personalities, they knew the art of really bringing about empowered living entities to this world, right? Yes, they knew the art, how to invite special souls to take birth, something which is today completely lost and forgotten, even amongst us devotees. And I mean, I realize here that it's all men and many are brahmacharis, but nevertheless, I think no harm for everybody, even the brahmacharis, to know that there is an art to this. I mean, when was it? Some time ago, I was speaking to one brahmachari from Chaupadi, and he actually shared with me, and I'm by no means I'm trying to recommend this here, but I thought it was interesting. He actually said that Radhanath Swami asks his brahmacharis to preach about Garbhodan Samskar. And I thought, wow, I mean, after all, Narada Muni is also giving so many important instructions on family life and all that. So I thought at least we should know, that there is some higher, deeper science here, how to actually create empowered offspring. And I mean, these days, in the modern days, people are so interested how to breed horses and dogs and all this, but nobody talks about how to breed empowered human beings, right? People don't even get the idea that this is also not just some coincidence or something, but that there's actually science to it, you know. And I mean, I have, I'm not getting into any details here, but you know, there is a lot for us to be learned and discovered, and we have to educate and train devotees. Because I come across this a lot, that there is still so much immature understanding that people think, oh, having children is all Maya, and it's all a distraction, and it's all a burden, and it takes you away from spiritual progress. But my God, if we take this seriously, it puts a whole different dimension on family life. Some time ago, a couple of years ago, I put a 15-hour course on children and spiritual culture. And even though I don't have any physical children, I only have a few spiritual ones. Yeah, I mean, just putting that course together gave me so much realization that it puts a whole different dimension on the Grihastha ashram if we take this seriously. But the problem is, we haven't gotten there yet, you know? We're not quite taking it seriously. Like Prabhupada says, he gives this analogy with a thorn in the foot, you know? If you step on the thorn and you've got a thorn in the foot, oh, very painful. So what can you do? You can take another thorn to take that thorn out from your foot. And you have to be a little expert how to use it. So Prabhupada gives that analogy in regards to family life. So this man-woman attraction, attachment, that's the thorn in the foot. But if you're a little expert, you can take that same arrangement and take that thorn out. And that's what the Grihastha ashram is all about. But if you're not an expert, you end up with 2 thorns in your foot. Right? And that's kind of what we see a lot going on. We end up with 2 thorns. And then we jump to this conclusion, oh, this Grihastha life, oh, having children, it's all Maya, and, you know, because no, we are not expert. That's the problem. That's the problem. And I also have this course on family life. And when I gave it last time in Mayapur, I called it from Griha Medi life to the Grihastha ashram. A little bit of provocation is there. Yeah, because that really, you know, I realized that we are not there yet. Our family life is not an ashram yet. Yeah, we are still with one foot heavily in Griha Medi life, and it's not surprising. We are surrounded by it. We are conditioned by it. We come from that background. And for many years, I never even thought about it. You know, you think, oh, well, of course, we wear neck beads, tilak, we chant. Of course, we are grihastas. Of course. What else? And we would get offended if somebody calls us Griha Medis, right? But no, it takes so much more to it. We actually have to have a whole internal transformation of transforming our expectations, how we enter. That's already how it starts. You know, our desires, our concepts, it's a whole thing. It's completely opposite, you know, as we were discussing, you know, spiritual culture, materialistic culture, completely opposite. And I had once one Prabhu there in Mayapur in the course, and he was saying, Mataji, we are not even on the level of Griha Medis. Because Griha Medis, there's no divorce amongst Griha Medis, you know, and they actually, Griha Medis in the Vedic culture, they perform so many rituals and duties and purifying things, you know, we're not even there. Yes, I mean, it's a whole topic. So, yeah, so it will take a few generations to get there, very clear. And I have been told, I don't know how authorized it is, but apparently Prabhupada was saying that it will take 10 generations, and I believe it too, at least 10. And we can see it. Like in Mayapur, I know some families where the girls grow up in Mayapur. They went there to the Gurukul, the girls' school or whatever. And yeah, you can see they're already a little closer to Krishna system. You know, there's many parents from European background. They don't send their girls to university and all that. They realize, you know, this is not the all in all for a woman to be a lawyer or a doctor. So, and when once they finish their basic school, they actually get them married when they're 18, 19, 20. And they do it all nicely. They arrange it how it should be, and you know, so yeah, so that and then if that generation has children, and when those children have their children, if they maintain that outlook of striving, you know, to get closer to Krishna's system, then eventually it will happen. But of course, there's almost always so many other devotees joining who are still miles away from Krishna's system, so it will take a while, you know. But at least if we have some direction which way to strive for, and there's some examples, you know, and then gradually over the generations, those examples following things and getting closer to Krishna's system, they become more and more. And then the balance goes more and more in that direction, right? Then those who are still more in you know, in the day of the materialist, it will stand out more. Right? And then it will be more and more gradually, it will more and more clearly be established how Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement actually, which direction it has to take. Right? So it's, yeah, it is a process over quite a few generations. And now I feel we are really at the very beginning, and with this, and it's natural, everything has its time, you know. In the beginning years it was the pioneer spirit, the cowboy style, let's go out there and tell everybody about Bhagavad Gita and Maha Mantra and Prabhupada, and then comes the phase of establishing, let's get the properties, schools, temples and farms and so and now is kind of the next phase where we have to actually try and live what we are studying here, you know, and we have to apply it and demonstrate an example to the world how cultured and civilized human life is meant to be lived. So, yeah, it's a gradual thing, and it cannot be forced and imposed or something. It can only be inspired, that transformation. And some might just not be into it. I'm sure, you know, there will be people who say, no, I'm not interested in this internal transformation. I don't want to do the internal hard work here. I rather stay with the day of the materialist, you know, because we actually like the day of the materialist. We like it, let's be honest here. we like that taste, actually. We attach to it. And there will be always people who rather stay there. All right, fine. Let's leave it up to everybody involved, you know, personally. But those who want to transform and who want to really get to the day of the introspective sage, 269 in Bhagavad Gita, so they should be allowed to. Right? Yeah, we don't want to criticize them or something. No. And of course it requires honesty and humility. We have to be humble and honest to say, oh, sorry, that's not my standard. I cannot, you know, take that direction. Let's be humble and honest. But without humility and honesty, you know, then we will try and pull down those who want to make that transformation. And we will criticize them and attack them and this and that. It's simply because you're not humble and honest enough to say, oh, actually, I like the day of the materialist. I like those concepts and visions of life. Yes. I don't know. I had a few other little things here on my paper, but when do you usually finish?
Usually in 8:30.
Okay. Oh, well, maybe let's see if there's any questions. Okay, Maharaj.
We do need to roll because there's all kinds of services and things that happen.
Yes, yes.
Well, okay. Hey, it takes 10 generations. Let's be honest. Hey, I'm just being humble. I don't fit in the ashram. I just can't do it, you know? And I'm just being honest and I'm being humble and I'm just going to let it slide. I'll think about Krishna. I'll come to the temple. I'll associate. But, you know, it's just that's where I'm at. Our householder says, look, I can't really follow all the principles. You know, I thought I could. I was young and enthusiastic. And, hey, but it's going to take 10 generations. And, you know, my kids will do better. My kids will do better. So, hey, at least I'm honest. I'm honest and humble.
Yes. Well, it doesn't take 10 generations to follow the principles. That's a different thing. And I mean, yeah, but I mean, to be humble and honest is the starting point. And then it depends on how much we can inspire people and encourage and uplift people so that they want to strive forward.
So it's, you didn't enliven me. You didn't inspire me. I'm just being humble and honest.
Well, I mean, that's...
It's your fault that I'm not Krishna conscious.
I mean, I like to see it in those terms, that, you know, if somebody is, if my assistants don't do what I ask them to do, then I do blame myself and say, well, obviously I cannot inspire them enough, you know. So I think for a leading person, it's no harm to have that mood, because ultimately that's what it boils down to.
Dasi fell down with problems.
Anyway, let's not.
I'm having a hard time. I'm saying I know what I hear, you know.
Yeah. So, I mean,
People are looking for an excuse.
people look for an excuse, but you know, those who look for excuses, they maybe just don't have that necessary sincerity there, and I guess that's why Varnashram is there, because there's always some who are, you know, on the edge and rather stick to some karma kanda rules, and you know, I mean, Varnashram has a place for everybody there. It's not that everybody has to be the topmost Brahminical personality or something. That's exactly why Prabhupada, according to my understanding, was lamenting that the Varnashram he hasn't been able to establish. Exactly because of that, because Varnashram is full of all little details and rules how actually everybody can be gradually uplifted wherever they might be standing. And I mean, I once discussed this with His Holiness Bhakti-Raghava Maharaj, and I wanted to double check if I have the right understanding. So I said to him, according to my understanding, Varnashram, as it was practiced in the former days, there were simply too many little rules and regulations and things, you know, which are not really applicable today in these modern days. But the basic principles of varnas and ashrams, I mean, they're there. We can't, you know, we can't skip them. The different ashrams is just the phases of life which every cultured human being goes through. There's nothing artificial. And the varnas is according to the three modes of material nature. In any kind of society, there will be always Brahminical people, there will be Kshatriya type people, and there will be the Vaishyas, the business people, and the simple Sudra people. I mean, communism wasn't successful in making them all equal. They tried that, but it just doesn't work because it's Krishna's system. So, and once we understand that, you know, all right, all these little rules and regulations, no need. But the basic principles, it's part of Krishna's system. How can you try to, you know, think, you know, it's not valid today or something. So, and I mean, I guess that's what we're experiencing also in ISKCON. Yeah, that there is a lot of devotees, you know, Manusyanam Sahasrishu. So out of thousands, you know, hardly one even has any interest, and out of thousands who have interest, hardly anyone knows me in truth. So, yeah, that's what it is. Isn't it, Marge? That's what it is. Yes, it's a gradual thing. And I mean, Prabhupada was always telling us, yes, one life and so on. But I can't help myself thinking for most conditioned souls it is a matter over several lifetimes. I think so. And my eye-opener in that regard was this story of Raghava Das. You know, Prabhupada disciple Raghava. You know that story? In London, who died in a car accident when Prabhupada was on the planet. And Prabhupada was saying, yeah, no problem, he will continue in his next life. There's still, the letter is still there where Prabhupada said that. So, and Raghava Das took birth as Ratnavali in an Indian Mataji's body. Before he was a British Brahmachari body. And now he has Indian Mataji body. She's this. Yes, it is considered to be confirmed, yeah. Astrologically, hypnosis, so many things. And I've seen pictures of Raghava and Ratnavali and one Indian Mataji who served in the pujari room when Raghava was doing puja. And my God, I cracked up laughing. Yes, because when Bhakti Swami heard the story first time, he asked Ratnavali, so what happened at the moment of death? Who did you think of? How the hell did you end up in this body now? So she researched it and she remembered, and she met Prabhupada disciples who knew Raghava. In London, there's still so many Prabhupada disciples there who knew Raghava. And they remembered, yeah, when he was coming home from traveling Sankirtan, you know, there was this Indian Mataji in the pujari room. And it's not that he had a love affair or something. No, he was a strict brahmachari. But it was the opposite. There was some tension there. They were, you know, harassing each other. And we can just imagine he was saying, oh, why did you make the givik so funny? And again, the brass is not properly polished. And, you know. So, and that was enough for Raghava to do another round in the material world. Yes. So, good lesson. We don't only have to overcome the attachments, but the aversions as well. Because attachment and aversion, they are the two sides of the same coin, you know. And we often don't think of this. If we are really averse towards something, it means there's also some kind of attachment there, actually. It's a material thing, a mundane thing there in the mind. And all of this has to be resolved and given up. Yes, not so easy to go back to Godhead, according to my understanding. And that story, when I heard that first time 10 years ago or something, it was an eye-opener to me, that it is such a subtle, subtle thing. And then the most amazing thing is, Ratnavali has two birthmarks, one on the forehead, one on the belly. And these two birthmarks are exactly where Raghava had the injuries in the car accident. Exactly. And that is a medical proof how the subtle body of mind, intelligence and false ego takes the soul to the next gross body. And it's very clear in that traumatic impact of a car accident, you know, you think, oh, my head, oh, my belly, and that leaves this impression on the mind. And the mind takes that to the next gross body, and it manifests as birthmark. And when I was working as a physiotherapist with early born babies for some time, I had to treat them to, stimulate their development. I remember I once asked the doctor, why do babies sometimes have these birthmarks? I was puzzled. I was looking at them and thinking they look like previous injuries. And this doctor said, nobody knows. Babies have these things. That was his answer, But we know, they are the impressions on the time of death. The soul takes that to the next ghost body. Yeah, quite amazing, So, and Prabhupada was confirming it, that there is, if you Google Raghava and Ratnavali,
Let's leave that alone and move on to another question.
okay, good. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's a classic thing, what, especially in the Western world, where all this, agitation is so much in the atmosphere. The brahmacharis have to build all these walls to protect themselves, and then very easily there is this aversion attitude, right? And that's how we protect ourselves from this. So obviously this is not so healthy, right? And it shows that there is actually some attraction there. Now, of course, we are in the material world, and of course, how can we avoid having some attraction there to the other gender and so on, especially if we are bombarded by so many influences. So, yeah, I mean, we can say, a true brahmachari should be beyond this, actually. And he should be able to move around in the material world without having to keep himself in the brahmachari ashram by, it's all Maya, and the women are all Maya, and kids, we know where they come from, disgusting, and so on. I mean, with that kind of attitude, we cannot really make progress, Yes. I mean, we take that kind of luggage with us, right? I mean, that's the thing, to go back to Godhead, zero luggage, not 20 kilos plus hand luggage or something. It's zero luggage. So all the mind, intelligence for zero, it all has to be completely spiritualized and transformed. We have to dissolve, we have to work through all these mundane impressions there, and attitudes and concepts. And we have to be we have to be balanced and neutral, not attracted, but also not averse, because that's the other side. Yes. What? Very true. Yes. Yeah. So, that's one way of trying to cultivate a natural attitude. I mean, it's a pretty common thing that, the brahmacharis criticize the grihastas criticize the brahmacharis. These brahmacharis, they're just lazy and sleeping, and they don't know what it means to go out and earn money and all that. And the brahmacharis say, these grihastas, they're all in Maya, they're all sense and joys and so on. Yes, I mean, this doesn't lead to any uplifting and purifying result to have that attitude. Definitely, there has to be respect, as we were discussing in our seminar. Respect has to be the foundation to spiritual practice and spiritual life and so on. And again, it is connected with introspection and honesty. So if we, as a brahmachari, if we realize it's just we're too much battling there and so on, and have to build up all these aversions in order to keep us on the brahmachari ashram, well then obviously it's not so healthy, and maybe just better to become an honest and good grihastha or something. Yes. But anyway, I'm not saying that you all should get married now. Time up. Okay, thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Sure.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,